Hi everyone, welcome back to the birthday month edition of Poems That Changed Me. Today I'm going to be talking about a short poem by Charles Wright, not to be confused with James Wright. This is a poem called Clear Night, and it's a poem that I've written about a couple of other places, but it has been in my head ever since I read it as an undergraduate. It appeared in his 1977 book China Trace, and then later in Country Music, which is a phenomenally cool book. It collected poems from his first four collections. And Clear Night, as you can see, is a short poem, 12 lines, three quatrains, three four-line stanzas. And I just cannot seem to get these images out of my head. Clear night. Clear night. Thumb top of a moon, a backlit sky. Moon fingers lay down their same routine on the side deck and the threshold. The white keys and the black keys. Bird hush and bird song. Acacia flower falls. I want to be bruised by God. I want to be strung up in a strong light and singled out. I want to be stretched like music wrung from a dropped seed. I want to be entered and picked clean. And the wind says, "What?" to me, and the castor beans with their little earrings of death say, "What?" to me, and the stars start out on their cold slide through the dark, and the gears notch and the engines wheel. There is so much I want to say about this poem. First, just the opening of the most bizarre image. Thumb top of a moon. I just love that very specific, weird image to perhaps create the visual impression of a quarter moon. And this idea of moon fingers laying down their same routine. So a weird combination of a piano and music and the stars and the white light of the moon and the black background of the sky. So as though the moon is playing its same little ditty every night and grows weary of that. The strange amalgamation of those images in that line and then the larger images within that opening stanza is so disorienting and so strange that I'm immediately pulled in. Then the poem shifts to that stanza, that quatrain of four I want phrases. And those are a very strong shift. The poem clearly moves in a different direction. And I love those four statements. It really reminds me a little bit of the line from the Georg Trakl poem that I talked about last time. I drank the silence of God through the streams and the trees. It's almost like a prayer, kind of like that Trakl poem too, which is a reference to Psalm 130. This poem, with its strange cadences and its almost King Jamesy sounds, feels to me like it is some sort of a beseeching of the divine. I want to be bruised by God. Who doesn't, I suppose? I want to be strung up in a strong light and singled out. Just the sounds of that, strung up in a strong light and singled out, all monosyllabic words until singled. And then you continue that ST sound to the next line. I want to be stretched like music wrung from a dropped seed. I want to be entered and picked clean. There is a long history, of course, in medieval prayer and mystical entreaties to God that the Lord enters them somehow, right? I want to be entered by God. God, please come into me, come inside me. Which I had a poetry professor one time talk about the pornography of some of the early prayers or Christmas songs, actually. But here, Wright is clearly tapping into that mystical tradition. And then that is backed up by not God, not the universe, not the heavens, responding, but the wind, right? And the wind says what to me? And then this line that has got to be one of the most memorable I've ever read. And the castor beans with their little earrings of death say what to me? I just have memories of running down the basketball court with that line and the castor beans and their little earrings of death say what to me for 20 or 30 years of my life. And then that beautiful return to the ST words, and the stars start out on their cold slide through the dark. Man, that's gorgeous. One of the things that really captivated me about this poem was how much was going on in it, but how little I understood it. Like, I still don't know what Wright is getting at, except I feel like he's getting at the act of writing a poem, the poem as a query, the poem as an entreaty, the poem as a prayer that is both not a prayer and is also at the same time an unanswered prayer. And then the willingness to sort of give in to the beauty of language in that prayer. Maybe the prayer is actually to poetry, or the prayer is to language, or the prayer is to the aesthetic questioning of what it means to be on this earth. That commitment to the line, that commitment to language, God, that changed everything for me.